What's going on YouTube? Day back again, and today, guess what? We're taking a look at probably the best lighting setup that I've picked up in a while, and yes, you can see me seeing me right over there. So I actually ended up coming across this light panel, and it's actually a 2-pack on Amazon. I was just looking for some different new lighting setup. There were maybe 3-4 reviews on it. It seemed kind of sketchy, but at the same time, I'm like, if this works out, worst case scenario, I can send it back because, well, it's Amazon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump down to the table to the overhead camera, which is right there, and we'll take a look at everything that came in the package. But I wanted to give you guys just a quick overview. This is actually on one of its lowest settings. It does have this diffuser filter on here. I'll show you what it looks like without that on there. It does come with 2 mini tripods for your desk. It also comes with a larger tripod with a pole to be able to attach a backdrop, which comes with it in black and white. So without further ado, let's jump down to the table. All right, boys and girls, first thing that came in the package was 2 of these envelopes. They're manila envelopes with bubbles, and there's no correct way to pull these out. So first you get this film that pops into it. It gives you a nice softbox effect. Next you get the LED panel itself. This is actually really light. One thing to note, this whole video is being filmed and lit by only one of these, which is right over here. So that's why it's kind of, you can see the reflection over there. So this has, I forgot, I think 132 LEDs on here. You have the diodes in between each one. You have these slots for this to go into. You don't have to use those, but it definitely cuts down the sharpness of the LEDs themselves, and I would actually recommend it. On the back side is just a bare aluminum plate. What is nice is that this disperses the heat from the LEDs, so you don't get any radiating heat from it. Down on the bottom, you get this adapter for attaching to the tripod. You get the power cable coming off with the plug. For attaching the filter, you just slide it on, and this other side can be a little tricky. You just want to get a corner of it. That's what it looks like this. Now you could actually put cloth or even tint this if you were wanting a specific color, but I like it just as is. Next in the package, you get this little white box here. We don't need this. Listen to that crinkly goodness. Here's the control box itself. You can go all the way from off all the way to high. Now there is a downside with this that I've ended up finding. The control box is on the plug. If you have it plugged into the wall, you can't reach the control box. A way around that in upcoming videos, I actually have a smart plug that both of these are going to be plugged into, and I can just have it set at a light setting that I like, and then I can just ask my smart system to turn on the YouTube lights, and those will end up coming up. So I think that will give it a perfect fix. Next up, you get this cute little mini tripod. You just fold it down. You can do it this way. I actually made mine a little bit flatter and just did like so. You want to tighten that down. You get a knob up here for extending this. That is as far as it extends. These are just one-year basic cheap lighting. It's a really light aluminum. Nothing really sturdy about this, but just sitting on the desk, it will end up working just fine for you. Next up in the package, and I'm actually not going to set this one up, you get a bigger version of that tripod, though it is not a full-fledged. You do get this nut and everything that's on here, and that is for attaching to this. Now this pole is about 24 inches wide. You do have a hole in here, and what it's going to do is sit over this shaft and tighten down so that you can end up attaching the backdrops to it. So if you're wanting to use this for photography, video, they have it advertised for cell phone use, but I think this will come out just perfect for YouTubers or even photography. It takes very little power. It works very, very well. I can't wait. I actually have some friction arms that I'm going to be mounting right up here so that I can have the lights overhead and no more glare when I end up making package unboxings. Now in the tubing, I'm not going to unwrap them both, but you have this, it's like a heavy duty vinyl, and you have it in both black and white. So you can do either way for a backdrop. This would actually work really well for like a bottom drop, but I don't know if I'm going to end up using these or not. But it's nice that they're here and I have the option to use them. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to kind of set these up how I would if I were just using them without doing them on the friction arms, and let you guys see what they end up looking like. And then I'll give you my final thoughts. Is it worth the money? So be right back. 2 things that I forgot to add into the video is It comes with 2 of these little mini ball heads for attaching to the pole. You don't have to use them, but it makes it a lot easier if you're wanting to do them at a downward angle. It also comes with these 2 clamps, which is really weird because it shows a different type of clamp in the advertisement. I don't really care because these will end up working. I think they'll end up working. I'm not honestly going to end up using that back tripod and the backdrops, but it does come with these as well. All right, boys and girls, so this is generally what it ends up looking like as is. I have them probably spaced about 1.5 feet apart, angled like this, and I'm planning on changing that for a little different angle. This will give you a nice overview. You can end up adjusting this where it ends up working better, where you get more forward, or you get one back and one forward. The possibilities are actually endless on how you end up wanting to do this and your space. The nice thing, it doesn't really take up any space, especially once you break it down. You can fit it into a small bag or even a small box. I think this is going to work very well. Let me shoot out to the outer camera and show you generally what this looks like from a distance. All right, so here we are with a general overview of everything. You can see this lamp over here, this lamp over here, and then the model laying on the table itself. You get plenty of light. I can even turn this down a little bit. The light on the camera is actually making it a little harsh. That's probably about 50% right there, and that is more than enough light, especially if you're doing a close-up recording and or you're just working on something. Like I said, I think for the value, these are an excellent value. Ignore the whole mess that's over here. This is there's runners and all kinds of stuff. We're not going to look over there. This is what we're going to end up looking at. I'm going to have a unboxing of the friction arms and how I'm going to end up setting those up coming up, and we'll show you how I'm going to set these lights up for an out of the way and taking up no desk space. I want to thank you guys for all tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, click the like button. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. It means a lot to me, and I've always got updates coming. Also, make sure and check down in the description. There will be a link to this product. You don't have to buy it, but just you clicking on that link, if you buy anything, helps out me, helps out this channel, because, well, not getting anything from YouTube. As usual, YouTube, I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace out.